Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. I'm knocking out a shrimp, crab, and Mirliton casserole. Get your pot, heat it up! We getting this large pot of water boiling. For this recipe, I'll be using 6 Mirlitons. If you've never heard or seen a Mirliton before, it's spelt a little different from how we actually say it here. But it's basically a pear-shaped squash, and it's very popular in Cajun and Creole culture. First thing I'm going to do is slice them down the middle. Then I'll take a spoon and I'll scoop out the center part of the Mirliton. That's where the seed is, and also a flesh that's not as palatable as the rest of it. I'll do this to every one of them. As my water is coming to a slight boil, I add 2 tablespoons of salt. Off to the side, I will prep 2 yellow onions, 1 red bell pepper, 1 green bell pepper, and 2 sticks of celery. Hi-ya! Now that the water has come to a rolling boil, I add in the Mirlitons. From here, I will set a timer for 45 minutes and maintain a rolling boil the entire time. Once the 45 minutes is up, I then turn the heat off and dump this out through a strainer. I then just let the Mirlitons sit and cool down while I move on to my next step. It is time to get another large pot, heat it up on a medium heat. Stick of butter, party of 1. When the butter is melted, add in all that trinity. And make sure you scoop everything out the bowl. We're going to saute this down for quite a while, like 35 to 40 minutes. We want them very tender. Off to the side, I'm going to chop up 2 pounds of fresh, deveined Gulf shrimp. Then season with mild heat seasoning. I use a glove, mix them around, and just get that seasoning on all of the shrimp. Once I get it all stirred in evenly, I just let them sit and kind of marinate. At this time, I add 1 tablespoon of that mild heat paella seasoning to my sauteed vegetables. Then off to the side, I prep 6 cloves of fresh garlic. At this point, my vegetables had been sauteing for roughly 30 minutes, so now I just want to saute the garlic in there for another 5 to 10. The Mirlitons are now cool enough to work with. Now look, at this point, some people like to go ahead and peel the skin off the Mirliton. I don't know if it's a texture thing. I mean, it softens beautifully when cooked down properly. Plus, there's nutrients like vitamin C, antioxidants, magnesium, potassium. I dig it. So I just cube them up right here and toss them in. All right, so these vegetables been sauteing for 40 minutes. It's time to add the Mirlitons. The Mirliton retains a lot of water, so we're going to cook them down for 30 minutes. I know that may seem like overkill, but trust me, you want things to soften beautifully and pull out all these great flavors. In the meantime, I'll chop up 1 bunch of green onions and a handful of parsley. Next, I will go through this 8 ounces of lump crab meat to try to pull out any lingering shells. And trust me, there will be shells. Every so often I come back to this pot and make sure I stir up the bottom really good. Don't want things to brown up too much, because then it goes from brown to burnt. But as you can see, a lot of water is evaporating, which means flavor is increasing. So let's play a little drum tune. I'm preheating my oven to 375 degrees. I'm giving this one final little stir here before I add in the shrimp. Now when it comes to the shrimp, there's no need for a whole lot of cooking here on the stove. This is all going to bake in the oven anyway. But I do want to see some light pink start to form on the shrimp. And once I know I have that, then I'm good. So as you can see here, that light pink is starting to form. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn my fire off. Then I will pour in a 14.5 ounce can of chicken broth. I then add the green onions and parsley and 1/2 tablespoon of dried thyme. I don't add a whole lot of this because I don't want it to overpower the dish. And then I just get everything mixed in together. From here, I'll gently stir in the lump crab meat. At this point, I'll fold in 1.5 cups of seasoned breadcrumbs. And I just kind of gently do this throughout the entire pot. I just want some breadcrumbs to touch everything. At this point, you may also hear Dash in the background chasing his tail. And that is it right there. The filling for our casserole. Off to the side, I've greased a 9 by 13 inch baking dish. I pour the filling into the dish, then sprinkle a 1/2 cup of seasoned breadcrumbs all over the top of the casserole. From here, I will place the dish into the oven and bake for 30 to 40 minutes. And just like that, this bad boy is done. Now look, you're going to want to let this thing cool for probably 10 to 15 minutes. Trust me, it is piping hot. It might just be one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but it'll be worth it. Just a little while, then we're gone again. You better call your pops and grab the kids, cause we rolling. I ain't joking. Been a minute since your boy been token. But HDTV don't mean that much to me, cause I got higher definition in my... Boy, this looks and smells amazing. I like it like this too, man. A nice chunks of Mirliton there. You know, there's people who, you know, have their own preference of how they want it. But for me personally, I like it like this. But you can do what you want to do. Mash it up if you like. There's also other things people like to add, like Parmesan cheese and I think even some egg. You know, and some people are going to look at this and go, you need more breadcrumbs. But hey, if you want a breadcrumb casserole, have you one. For me, this is how I get down. Hope I don't burn my mouth. But it is water. Oh, it's so good. Everything in there is just so tender and super flavorful. I know it didn't look like we put a lot of seasoning because seasoning wise, you saw the paella seasoning and really not much else other than dry thyme. But the breadcrumbs have a lot of flavor. I did use salted butter. I cooked down all the vegetables to pull out their natural flavors. And also too, the chicken broth has sodium in it too. So you're gonna get a lot of flavor in this. That is unbelievably good. I gotta take another bite of that. This as a whole is just a meal in itself. And there's so much you can do with this, but I'm telling you, I can just knock out a huge plate of this. So good. Well, that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. A shrimp, crab, and Mirliton casserole. Do what you want with it. Have fun with it. You do you. But all in all, I'm telling you right now, that is very good. It's super filling. The Mirliton has such a great flavor to it. I mean, it's kind of almost like a sweet and savory style of squash. Maybe, you know, if like a squash and a pear had a baby, I guess, you know. But it doesn't quite taste like a pear, but it just tastes amazing. I don't know how else to describe it other than say, try it. But that is a wrap. If you guys want to see anything else, stick around. I'll be back for more. But go make this one. Hiya!